Have you ever cried at someone's grave only to later find out they were still alive? Have you ever felt grief tear your chest apart just to discover years later that the truth was even more cruel than death? This isn't an ordinary story. It's a nightmare whispered in the dark, a truth no one should ever face. But I did. I remember the last time I saw Laura. She was 10 years old, wearing her pink pajamas, sitting in the kitchen, eating cereal, and laughing at cartoons. She always laughed with her whole body. Then, one day, she just disappeared. The police said it was an accident, a fall into the river near her school. They didn't find the body right away, but they said that was common. The current takes them, they told me. A week later, they found a small, unrecognizable body. But it had the same bracelet Laura wore, the one with little stars, the one I gave her. We held the funeral. I buried my daughter. And with her, I buried a part of myself. The years passed like a fog. I began to live on autopilot. I would stare at the door, waiting for her to walk through. I dreamed of her voice. I heard her footsteps in the hallway at night. People told me it was grief, but deep down, something inside me whispered, the story wasn't over. Then, 9 years later, I received a letter. It was written in shaky handwriting on yellowed paper. No return address, just words that shattered my world. Mom, I'm alive. They lied to you. I'm in the basement of a house with bars. He calls me by another name. I don't know where I am, but find me, please. My world stopped. I read that letter at least 50 times. Every syllable was a scream. I contacted the police. They told me it was probably a cruel prank, but I knew. I had always known. I started investigating. I spent sleepless nights in dark corners of the internet searching for similar stories, and I found them. Children declared dead who were later found alive, kidnapped, brainwashed, erased from their own identities. I hired a private investigator. He warned me, "This could destroy you." I replied, "Losing my daughter already destroyed me. Now I'm just what's left." It took months. We followed leads, visited abandoned places, uncovered forged documents, until one coordinate led us to a small, forgotten town in the countryside. There, we found an old house, locked, bars on the windows, complete silence. We called the local police. They broke down the door, and in the basement, there was a mattress, a child's blanket, marks on the walls, and a girl sitting in the corner. Thin, pale, with eyes far too large for the age she appeared to be. When she saw me, she whispered, "You came back for me." I collapsed to my knees. The voice, the eyes, the bracelet, my daughter, alive. But the story doesn't end there. Laura wasn't the only one. Other children were being kept there too, in inhumane conditions. The person responsible, a model employee, respected in the community. No one ever suspected him. He was arrested, but the trauma, the scars, those don't disappear with handcuffs. There's no grief worse than burying someone who's still screaming for you in silence. Today, Laura sleeps beside me almost every night. She still wakes up screaming. Sometimes she forgets her own name. Sometimes she calls that monster Dad. But she's alive, and I'm here. Justice doesn't give back the years, but finding her gave us the chance to start over. Do you believe this really happened? Have you ever lived through something like this? If this touched you, it's because this video needed to reach you. Subscribe to the channel, but only if you have the courage. Goodbye.